Good evening. Today the Who's were on at Wyong. Very Kleiner meeting. Weather wasn't that good. Nobody there. It was a ghost town. Four captain bookies on the fence. Myself and another bookmaker in the outside ring. We played to a one professional and a Betfair crusher, and that was more or less the meeting. It was there was just no money there at all. There are no punters about at the moment. I don't know where they got to, but game's getting tougher, and you can't blame them. You know, how in the hell do they expect punters to keep up with the form, having races wall to wall, not only in this state but every state, every day of the week? But the punters, they've got no idea trying to keep up with the form and trying to find a winner. It's all too confusing. I'm spending 120 hours a week just on New South Wales trying to keep track of it, price horses, look at tapes. There are plenty of hours involved, and I'm struggling. So I don't know how the others do it. If you don't put the hours in, you've got no hope, and no wonder that there aren't many punters about. Can't blame them. But you think there'd be plenty of punters at the track. The percentages we bet today, it was as skinny as hell, competitive and playing to an empty house all day. The first race, I got this race completely wrong. I didn't like the winner at all, written consent. I've got no opinion of the horse. I gave 5 to 2, $3.50 for a good bit of section. Top Fluck was 105.1 on the board. Bookies, if you shopped all right in the ring, you could have got down to 97. It was the only runner back, really. As I say, I gave 5 to 2. It was still $3 when they jumped on my board. No takers. If the pros would have been there, they would have cut into it, because the filthy Betfair was $2.80. They wouldn't have been able to help themselves by taking the $3. They're guided by it. They put I'm sure that a lot of punters and some of the pros, when they leave their office to get home, they put the Betfair on the dashboard to make sure they can find their way home. It helps them so much. Realio, it never had a price. It went from $3 to $5.50, and as I say, the figures were hopeless. I got the race completely wrong. Second race, and I paid the penalty. Second race, Flux Green, 106.1, 103 in the ring, hardly any business. The winner, number one gun, the Flux will say $1.50 to $2. There's plenty of $2.10 given. Started that price, or might have started evens, and was taken straight to the front by Son Schofield. He stayed 4 off the fence all the way, had complete control, always on the bit. Had the others off the bit turning for home. The race was over. And running second was Smart Patrol, the second pick coming off his back, beaten 1.3. And down the outside came Al Cavan, the third pick, $7 into $5.50, 9 to 2 at one stage, back to $6.50. Not worth a drink of water, and they ran 1, 2, 3. Race 5, 105.5, 102, a little bit better if you're a punter shopping in the ring. The winner more or less didn't have a price, the winner. Opened up 5 to 2, the last start, Newcastle winner, Relaxed and Happy. Had the inside gate ridden by Nash, and he went straight to the lead. And surprisingly, after looking at the first 2 races, you couldn't tell whether the fence was good or not. But Nash stayed fairly close to it, and in Nash style, when he's on the leaders, got a clear turning for home and won by 5 lengths. The favourite, Happy Galaxy, opened up odds on 5 to 4 on $1.80, got to $2.10 back into evens, and was always in behind the pace in between runners, but only plugged the line and got beat by the 5, as I say. There are a few other runners backed in the race. One notable runner that was trapped wide in the run was a big firmer, was Azalan, trained by Scores, and it got trapped wide in the run, as I say, and it was 50s, $51 into $15. And that's about all I'd say there. In race 4, it gets worse as we go along, playing into an empty house and betting losing figures has got me absolutely tricked. 101.6 on the screen, 94.5 given in the ring. And the winner, De La Soul, was an easy way if you wanted to work on the race or take risks, but you couldn't take risks because there were only about 3 runners back. The winner, De La Soul, opened up $6 and got out to 7. Runners that were back were the top weight Bradbury's Quest, $16 given into $9. Sat behind the pace and ran 4th. The favourite finished up running 2nd, which was Tablio. It opened up 5 to 2, got out to $4, but back into $3 when they jumped, extremely well backed. And there was pressure on up front all the way. It led from barrier 1 with Son Schofield steering, and there was pressure on, as I say, from the opening favourite, Miss Halliwell, who drew barrier 3, and Costings, who drew the outside alley, ridden by a young apprentice. And there was pace on all the way with Costings up outside the leader 3 wide, trying to get across but couldn't ease. He said it pulled on him, and in between a Miss Halliwell, as I say, and it dropped out well before the turn, and the reason being it bled from both nostrils, 3-month ban. Tally Hope got clear before the turn, a bit off the fence, but around them, with all the pressure on up front, came Robert Thompson, who copped a little bit of a prat in the run and was able to nab Son Schofield on the favourite on the line. If you let them on at the $4 and the $3.80 Tallio, you got it beat, but I tell you what, you had very poor value because the favourite, Miss Halliwell, it was unlayable. It went from evens to 9 to 4. Race 5, what a beauty. On the flux screen it said 99.3 at on the screen at top odds. We gave 96 in the ring. And Flying Bay finished up starting 2nd favourite at 9 to 4, $3.20. Opened up $3, got out to $3.50. Was always going to be, if not lead and hold out Little Prayer, be sitting 2nd but behind on the fence. But Father Schofield aboard this winner went straight to the lead and made sure he held that position getting to the first turn, and he got an easy middle section with the opening favourite, a little Prayer, ridden by Nippy Nash, straight behind it on the fence, it dropped out at the finish. Well, it held on to 3rd, but beaten a long way, 5.5 lengths. And Father Schofield on the winner, as I say, had complete control, got the easy middle sectional, and before the turn had plenty of horse underneath him, and he was well off the fence, and he ran away and won the race by 3 lengths. And getting into 2nd hole was Hollywell, who sat in 5th position before the turn, and it was very well backed. Opened up $10, got out to 12, only started $7.50, but it had its chance, and the winner was far too good. That's about all I'd say there. How did you work on the race, especially with the favourite Little Prayer not having a price, and the winner being 5 to 2 to 9 to 4. Very hard to win on the race if you're a bookie, I tell you now. Race 6, another little good race for punters. 99.8 at top fluck on the screen, 97 given in the ring, and the winner, French Gift, was found by the pro who was there. He was able to get the $15, started 13, took the 15 and the 14, and it was a solid enough pace up front, set by the paymaster, who finished up running 2nd. Fought on pretty well, ridden by Killer Cat. She set a fairly good pace up front, as I say, was able to get well off the fence before the turn, and got clear to turning and shaken off the others, and for a little while she'd look like she'd hold on, but down the outside, ridden by another young lass, Miss Alex Stokes, on the winner French Gift, coming from second last position, around them, making a searching run, finished up winning by 1.5 lengths, and it was 3 lengths to the third horse, which was Le Monsieur, and it was friendless in the betting, opened up 5-2, and it only got out to $7. Not a caser for it. And the favourite was Shawnee Girl, had barrier 1, ridden out of the barrier by Nash, and was always scrubbed up, stayed close to the fence all the way. It was the one, when they turned for home, that was closest to the fence by than any other runner, and Nash said that it raced very flat. The vet ran its hand over it and couldn't find anything wrong with it. What else do I say? There was a bit of money for Let Them Have It, the second pick, 7-2, $4.60 taken at one stage. It got back and it's a bit limited. And there was a bit of money around for Blink and Easy, $8 given. Only started 6, but because the figures were so bad, we had to keep on winding runners off. And you could have easily lost on the race if you let the trail on. You come to the last race, and this is another, what a ripper, 95.7 on the screen at Top Fluck, 90 in the ring if you shopped, and the winner, Norma's Betty's Boy, was taken straight to the lead, which was always going to be the case. We were of the opinion that there was going to be more pressure on up front from maybe 1 or 2 other runners, but Wishwin, who was always going to be up there, it sat second, and Norma's Betty Boy wasn't pressured as much as everybody thought. Only opened up 7-2, got out to $6, back into SP5. I was $5.50 when they jumped. I laid it for something, and what else do you say there? It was taken straight to the lead, as I say, and it forward on and won by about a length from Wishwin, who was sitting second all the way, and running third was Beaveroo, who, what do you say? It was in last position, coming down the side, on the inside, and if he wouldn't have been in that position and on the outside of, I think, a horse called Murphy's Royal, he might have won the race, because he seemed to, when Murphy's Royal took off, try to get underneath him at one stage, and he lost all of his momentum on the heavy track, and then got going again when the race was more or less over, and came very wide on the turn and hung in under pressure, and was only about another length away, so it might have only been beaten 2 lengths, maybe a little bit under, and ran third. So there were some very disappointing runs in the race, especially from Battle Street, who of course got the bias in his favour at Newcastle last start, leading on the fence up there. That day was only 5 lengths start. I tried to lay it. It went up $2.80 favourite. I think it's returned $4.60 favourite. I was $5 when they jumped, and Mike Clark hasn't written its name in the ledger, never had a price. There are a few runners in this race backed, and they were back markers. Murphy's Royal was $16 into $10. How was it going to win? No, it was always back and stayed there. And Ranger's Boy, likewise, it sat midfield. It was $30 given into about $15, $14, and it went fairly ordinary as well. That's about all I'd say in that race. The figures, well, there was nobody there. It was how expect people to back up every day, punters coming to the races. I don't think they want them at the races. They want them, just betting fixed odds with a tote, with the Jolly Green Giant taking unders all the time. Every bet they lay is a good bet, and of course, the fair, the good old fair. It's lovely playing the fair. I don't have a Betfair account. When I play cards, I like to look at the person's face who I'm playing. You can never see who you're playing now in that Betfair. You don't know. I've got some good. I won't say them on here, but some of the things that I hear about the traps that are set on Betfair and whatever, it's a doozy. And of course, they're a little bit greedy, Betfair, because if you happen to be a big winner there, they don't invest plenty of money with them. You think that they'd say, well, what com you're paying us, we'll reduce that a little bit. Well, it's the other way around. If you're a big winner, what happens is you pay a little bit more com to them. But of course, if you wrap them and spruik them here and there, they say, oh, keep on doing that. We'll only charge you such and such a percent. You know, I wish they'd get rid of the bloody thing, because I tell you now, there'd be a few pros who'd be completely and utterly lost. They wouldn't know what to do. Take the fair with them, and they'd be a ship in the middle of the sea without a rudder. Talk to you later. Bye.